The things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, it's Jones. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stuffed him. So now he brings up a third down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it fourth down. Returnable for Lockett. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 15. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. Despite a little sizzle on the move, he's still tackled shy of the 20. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
They run with Ajayi. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's Wilson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Wilson to lock it there for the Seahawk first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On second down, here's Wilson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Play action. It's Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on third.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there. He has a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right. That's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Now Wilson on second down. Out left side here to Bryant. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. From the shotgun, Wilson eluding the pressure right. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. That's already the third time they've looked his way on this opening drive. He's caught one of the three.
That doesn't mean they won't continue to go in that direction. It feels like they think they've got something good going there, and they think those numbers are going to increase.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
Here we go. 38.
They'll set up to throw. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And a loose football. And the Seahawks have recovered. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well. So now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well, because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. 2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Steps away to his left. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. On 3rd down, Wilson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he could break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it. Right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points. Able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive. But that seems a little devil-may-care there, doesn't it? They gave up 3 points, but how about them coming right back and putting themselves in a position to get points of their own?
The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big run there by Jones. 41 yards on the ground. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Jaron Reed, never giving up. He's able to keep working and get him for a loss of 12.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
He sets up the screen to Jones. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
And out now come the Seahawks. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. But I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a 1st down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
This is Ajayi. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Wilson. He hits Baldwin right side. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A very solid gain of 27.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Here's Ajayi. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, it didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
On 2nd down, Wilson. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll go down at the 28. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to Talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
Here's Wilson to throw on second down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Rashard Robinson with a pick. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Come on, let's go!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Back to throw now on first down. And he completes it to Wilson. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Bobby Wagner coming with pressure. He drops him on the blitz for a loss of 12.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And Old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Over the middle to Evans. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Needed 16, they got 17 on 3rd down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Come on, let's go!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1.
Here we go! White, 90!
They'll run it with Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal.
Here we go! Brand 38!
They'll look to throw here. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Cameron Brate, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6.
Them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front, and now see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. So 5 yards for running into. Lucky it wasn't 15 for roughing.
No doubt about it, because they protect the kickers and the guys holding the ball almost as much as they protect quarterbacks in the pocket. They don't want those types of injuries.
And the decision to bring it out, and a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jordan Jenkins in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. No move for the field goal unit. They're going to go here with 5 seconds left. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. On second down, here's Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. First down, Seahawks. Wilson to Baldwin.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now a toss play. It's Ajayi. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. It's Bryant. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked up by Lavonte David. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into
pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Let's go!
A give to Jones. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now Wilson on second down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Baldwin. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did. The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
They run for it with Carson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
4th and 1. I don't think Wild Horses could have dragged that quarterback off the field. He was motioning to go for it from the start. And sure enough, it's the ground game that gets him the first down.
Penny, a first down carry. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line. And that's where the return stops.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off mean nonetheless.
Come on, let's go!
On the counter, here's Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to flip and spill the play.
Let's go! What? None of it!
Now back to throw. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Jarran Reed In there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And he's going to be taken down. They sack him on what will be the final play. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. They go play action now. Wilson. He lets it fly for... It's caught inside the 25. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. Just shy of the 20. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a 1st down. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Dez Bryant, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC.
Run after catch. And he loves that. And he's going to carry that in at contract time.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And that'll make it 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down.
The dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now it's a Ajayi. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. He's now just 3 yards shy of 197 yards receiving on the contest and a first down.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jordan Jenkins able to disrupt yet another pass play, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
To throw is Wilson. Looking to throw on 2nd down. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some
under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Jason Pierre-Paul in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. So out come the Bucs now. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. Nice chunky yardage picked up there.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Here we go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
The give is to Jones. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And that was a young pup, the rookie, being intercepted by a veteran DB.
And I loved our quick conversation in pregame with him on the field where he said, hey, look, I love playing these young quarterbacks. They don't know a whole lot yet, so I can use my mind to put me in a position to make a play.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
95.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. They come out here in the eye. He'll get it up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Let's go get it right here. Come on.
Here's the sneak with Wilson. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Seahawks capitalize on this short field as they take it in for 6.
Partner, that was simply an example of getting low, wasn't it?
It was indeed. And for the quarterback, so they get low the line. They did their job. It's the quarterback's job just to find a crease and dive.
Find a crease and just get in there. Ordinarily, you start low yourself, get low behind that offensive line. But sometimes they do such a great job, you can almost fall forward and find the crease for a touchdown.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. The Bucs on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Here we go. 1, 9.
Back to throw. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Let's go. Ryan 38.
He's back to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. He'll look to throw. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now. 2 huge plays there down the stretch. The sack on 2nd down. Now they force the incompletion. That's going to lead to a do-or-die 4th down.
And they look like they've got the confidence right now that no matter what gets thrown against them, whatever play gets run, They have the ability to shut it down. They're just brimming with it.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the All-Pro free safety, Earl Thomas.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
For a second, they declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how anytime you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. Let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game